us.
A full enterprise. Well, how could it not be this week?
Yes.
Well, I think we're going to have to. Good evening, Gary. Start the show by talking about what I think everyone else wants to talk about. And that's, yes, we've had the first teaser trailer for the next Godzilla and Kong movie. Not a lot was given away, but I could spend an hour talking about it easily.
What about the fact they've started new filming on Neighbours, Richard?
That started, has it?
Yeah.
Are we going to find out what was in Susan and Carl's box under the bed? You don't even know what I'm talking about, do you?
And also, live-action Moana has been announced.
Live-action Moana has been announced, yep.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Who's going to play with Moana?
The reason it's being done is because apparently Dwayne Johnson's daughter doesn't believe he was the voice of Maui.
That's the only reason, is it?
Fair enough.
Which I think is brilliant.
Good evening.
Good evening, Vicky.
Hello.
What ho, Auntie Val. How are you doing, my dear? Linda. Happy Trek Sunday and happy St. George's Day.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So how's everyone's week been anyway?
Busy.
Busy,
Mine's
but good.
been, busy. Carl and I are very similar in lots of ways. Busy but good.
I've been poorly sick, but
Oh no!
finally getting
What's
out the
been
end.
wrong with you?
Tommy flu, but
Have the Tommy tits?
yesterday was Friday evening, late Friday evening, beginning Saturday morning was the first time I ate since Monday. So that gives you an idea of how poorly I was.
Oh dear, I'm sorry to hear that, mate.
Yeah, a bit rubbish, but hey, it is also, I believe, the day of St. George today.
It is. And Shakespeare's birthday.
It is.
And also the day he died.
There we go.
That's really unlucky, isn't it?
What are the odds? Genuinely.
Because you're
One
only
in
going to get to
365,
celebrate.
Carl.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that, but
You only get.
there's always one. It's usually James.
I mean, you only get one birthday, and then it's ruined.
Yes, dying is so
Forever.
inconvenient.
Although back in those days, they may not have known it was his birthday anyway, would they?
Hmm.
And not a lot of people probably had like a clock.
I was telling Claire about the Millennium edition of Blackadder earlier, where Blackadder manages to go back. This is a modern Blackadder, and he meets Shakespeare, and he punches him flat in the face and says, "That's for every school child in the next 400 years."
I generally really enjoyed Shakespeare at school, and I actually did go on to do it at A level by choice. So I spit in the face of Rowan Atkinson.
Well, you can
Sorry,
go
I
back
just
to the
enjoyed
Millennium
it.
and punch him in the face.
But I did enjoy his comedies a lot more than his tragedies, which means that most people into Shakespeare disagree with me.
It's kind of depressing when you look at that, though, isn't it? The first thing that pops into my head there is that I'm more likely to die on my own birthday than I ever am to win the lottery.
Yeah.
Carl, if you die on your birthday, do I still have to get you a cake?
Well, yes.
Well, we don't know he's going to die on his birthday until it actually happens, do we, Dan?
Kind of hoping you'll already have the cake. You won't leave it until the end of my birthday, hoping to save a few quid.
It's what we all do with Christmas presents for each other, though. We all wait till January and then pass them in January with the January sales.
No, I just re-gift the stuff I didn't want and give everything around, so I don't.
How you getting on with that beard kit, James?
Oh, is that why I got some tat off you this year? Okay, cool.
So speaking of Shakespeare, where do we want to start on this week's episode of Picard? Are we going to start at the beginning?
Speech from Julius Caesar.
Should we do the old red alert?
Whoa.
Just to be safe, just in case we lose our way.
No, if anyone hasn't seen it, they
In
don't
case people
deserve
who
it.
haven't watched it are instead watching us. Why are you watching us when you should have been watching Picard?
Priorities, people.
I think a bigger question to me is the fact that as James hates the reboot movies so much, why is he doing a big homage to J.J. Abrams on his stream this evening?
There's a lot of lens flare going on, isn't there?
My room is lit by J.J. Abrams.
Right. Let's first of all do the warning about Picard. That's the first thing. That's point of order. So.
Hang on,
just to warn you, folks, it's awesome.
Right, where's the jobber? There you go.
So I had a thought about how we could approach this as a group. Before we talk about...
Like a blind man at a swingers party, I was going to have to feel my way around. So, I thought it might be fun to talk about our favourite bits up to episode 10, and then we'll discuss episode 10 in depth, which gives some people a chance to stay on the stream for a bit if they've not seen episode 10 yet. And then we'll say when we'll go into more specific episode 10 stuff. Does that make sense?
So you want kind of like a season roundup before we really go for it with the final
Let's recap up to the last episode, and then people can watch that bit, and then we'll move into the last episode.
Okay. Well, standouts from me are Riker. Did you just throw an asteroid? You're damn right I did.
Now, I know that I spoke to you guys about this in the group chat.
Sorry, but someone's echoing.
It's not me.
Not for me, no. I can't hear any echoing.
I can't hear echo.
Viewers, if you can hear an echo, please complain. If not, we'll continue.
Yep.
We'll just put it down to Carl's voices.
So I thought it would be interesting to note that actor Todd, what's Todd's surname?
Schwostik or something.
Is a friend of both of our pages because he actually commented on our post about Captain Shaw. So a big shout out to Todd because I think Shaw was one of the outstanding characters.
Yeah, so he does watch the show. So Todd, hey, if you're watching, please jump in and say hi in the comments.
Feel free to allow us to send you a link so you can join in the conversation.
No.
I have a message from Todd which just says no.
Well, as viewers of the show will know that I don't always give a popular opinion, but I give an honest one. And I have to say, of all the new characters introduced across all 3 seasons of Picard, his was undoubtedly my favourite. No doubt about that.
Second only to Raffi.
I did enjoy Santiago Cabrera's character.
I enjoyed him.
But yeah, Shaw
but he wasn't
was
as good as Shaw. Yeah,
way sort of like definitely a superior replacement.
Yeah, we got an upgrade. Definitely. In terms, I mean, not just in terms of the character as well. And Santiago Cabrera, he's a pretty, what a beard.
Yeah,
but he's a handsome fellow, isn't he?
Next level actor. Was a next level actor. Yeah, so well done, sir.
The awesome thing was, well, I think Picard season 3 did really well by taking some of the superfluous characters out of season 1 and 2, getting rid of them. Elnor didn't need him. You know what I mean? I feared it would be. Yeah, wasn't needed. You know what I mean? Yeah, Jurati didn't reappear. Great. You know, it was just
she was guarding the anomaly thing, surely.
Yes, James and I had a theory about that. You know, the big hole, and we was trying to stop something from coming through and never found what it was. James and I reckon it was Discovery. That's the big threat.
Did you see the meme of Borg Queen Jurati that just said, "Sorry, I've just woken up to 300 missed calls. What's going on?"
Yeah. James, your highlights from season 3?
It's got to be the big reveal of the D, hasn't it?
Episode 9, yeah.
Look, in honor of that, I've got my Enterprise D commissioning plaque here.
James and I came very close to having something akin to an emotion. We were watching the final episode with some friends at my house, and we had a recap. We watched the last 10 minutes of episode 9 before episode 10. and we were all in the lounge. We had the lights dimmed, and the Bay 12 opened, and I heard James gasp, and I said, "It's the D." And wow. And then the pizza arrived. So we had a brief interlude, and poor Dee Dee, who was watching it with us, was in bits. She was all of an emotion. She said, "I can't believe none of you chaps are holding it together," because it really was just that, and it genuinely was emotional, wasn't it? It was just a wonderful experience, and to experience it with friends was even nicer.
I was saying to you, wasn't it, Dan, that out of all the episodes this season, the final one included, that was the moment where I sort of like physically got the whole goosebumps on the arm thing, and it's a long time since watching anything on screens had some sort of emotional and physical reaction to me, but that did it.
I did see an interview with Terry Metalis, who said that you couldn't really have a TNG reunion without the Enterprise D.
Well, I did want to just underline the emotions and everything it stirred today. Actually, it really was quite special. Unfortunately, my mother's not well. She has quite severe vascular dementia, and she still is a very big Star Trek fan. She came around for dinner today, and I told her all about Picard and all the rest of it, and she sort of remembered most of it. I said, "Would you like to see it?" So, I can't watch a whole episode. I'll get lost. I said, "Well, no, but just the brief thing where you see the Enterprise D and they all come on the screen." And she was absolutely blown away, and she couldn't quite place who the characters were or remember their names. But she turned around and she did say, "Do you know what? I can't quite place the names, but this just makes me feel really good." And just seeing them all just made her feel good. And I think that summed it up. It was quite lovely.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's that whole... It's almost that. I mean, I think I'm the youngest of the group here, but it's that feeling of when I was a kid and I first saw the Enterprise D. That same feeling came back, and it's like, oh wow, this is cool. It's yeah. Right.
I think it was the right balance of nostalgia, fanboy moment, and they actually made it work. In all fairness.
So, as we know that this group of four of us, we are essentially the council that directs what happens at CBS, because everything we say generally.
Yeah, we are like the elders.
The Council of Heroes.
I would like to raise a point.
The internet.
Can I have a second for raising my point, please?
Well, I need to know what the point is if we're going to second it.
That Terry Metalis should be given complete creative control of Star Trek.
I thought he was better in Kojak.
I don't think we need to even put that ahead. That is so obvious that if it doesn't happen, heads should roll.
I second all of those things.
Yes.
Terry Metalis has delivered in such a way that none of us could have believed it possible 2 or 3 years ago. And yes, it is quite clear that if he were in charge, the franchise would be in the safest possible hands.
I mean, there are... I know someone's putting comments up on the screen. I saw Alan Windows, one about the new characters.
This one.
Yeah. New characters, good. Raffi, better. Elnor, best.
Oh, Alan, I love you. He's taking the piss, isn't he?
No, I think you've misread it there, Dan. I think what he meant to say was new characters, good, Raffi, better, Elnor, best, Shaw. I think
the lack of commas, Alan, that's caused the trouble there, isn't
it? Confused me a little bit. I mean, Raffi's character was utterly pointless in this season, I have to say. I'm not sure why she was there.
Contractual obligations of she was on
contractual obligations, and sadly she's not taking the acting lessons after last season. But I say what I see. But yeah, Elnor, getting back, we were supposed to be talking about season, but Elnor, I think, was possibly the most underutilized character. That talking about what's the point in him being there? The first two, there was none. You know, it's something they could have done well and made it interesting, like they did with Worf. But they chose just to largely. Maybe his scenes were cut. We'll get a special edition re-release of the series, and it'll flesh him out a bit. Who knows?
It could have been quite nice to see him as Worf's protege.
They would have got on quite well,
wouldn't
wouldn't they? They never met.
Yeah.
I mean, I did really like season 3 Worf. It was that whole natural evolution of Worf from where he'd gone from just being, angry and young in TNG, and he matured throughout DS9, and now he's sort of hit that point of, I'm only fighting for what's right, not, just for the sake of a fight. It was a nice evolution of the character there from Michael Dorn.
Yeah, and genuinely, Michael Dorn does have a lot, I don't know about this season, but certainly back when they were filming TNG and DS9, Michael Dorn did actually have a lot of creative input into the character. He generally did care a lot about it.
Yeah, he really went into background stuff, didn't he?
He really did, and he worked really hard with his stunt double and stunt coordinators to work out a realistic-looking, forms of martial arts for the Klingons and stuff. He put a lot of work into it, and hopefully should be recognised for it.
So next point I've got on my sheet, where I thought it might be fun to ask you guys is
just to go on to this one by Lee though. That's an interesting point. We never really saw Picard as a fatherly figure, and then when Elnor cropped up in the first season, you kind of got that impression. And they've kind of brought that particular part of Picard out across the 3 seasons, and especially culminating in this last season, obviously with Jack, his actual son.
And don't forget his other son, Wesley.
Perhaps they wanted more from the actor.
James.
Perhaps they wanted more for the actor, and it just didn't work. Who knows? Just a shame.
No.
I thought it was underutilized. But
now I can see people like Paula putting some comments about episode 10. We're going to talk episode 10 slightly separately in a moment. So, question, and this will also include episode 10 because it doesn't give anything away. Was there anything or any scenes or any sayings that you were disappointed did not appear in season 3 of Picard? I will give you my first one. We didn't see Geordi roll under a door. I would have loved to have seen an under door roll.
Worf got denied.
Worf turned into O'Brien fix the transporters.
Worf turned into the denier. He denied Raffi.
There was a young lady from Venus whose body was shaped like a...
Yeah, I've always wanted to finish that.
Data's been killed twice and still doesn't get to finish the limerick.
One thing I was disappointed with was, and again, this is the final episode, so it's a quirky one, it's not an overly spoiler, was when Deanna turns around and goes, I know where they are, runs towards the helm, and all I wanted was to see Data just turn around from Generations and go, that would have been the
direct
perfect
line
moment to
enforce
drop
their
that
shoot-to-kill policy.
So Daniel's just jumped in there with a comment that I was thinking about today. More rooms of the ships. Yeah. I mean, it would have been lovely to have seen... I genuinely, not the ready room, I would love to have seen engineering. I would love to have seen a nice rebuilt engine and all the rest of it. But obviously they were limited as to what they could do. They're limited as to what they could afford. They're working on a budget.
Terry Vitalos has been quoted as saying that he asked for all sorts of things to go in, but the bean counter said, look, how much money do you think we've got to spend on this? You're having the whole Enterprise D bridge rebuilt. That's enough.
Yeah. We're bringing back all the people who made it in the first place to make sure it's right.
I think the fact that although there was spoilers in the last year that the Enterprise D was going to be out, the fact that they got as many of the original team back in to do it is what made that feel right. The fact that the Akudas were involved, the fact that, Rick Sternbach was involved, all these people that made it.
Rex.
That made this, just possible. And it's just like, so many times we see older shows recreated, or reboots, and they're just not right. It just doesn't feel right. There's something, a sort of quality.
The nice thing about this was it was a continuation. It wasn't a reboot.
No, but the feel was right. The tone was right.
One of the things I loved the most about seeing the Enterprise D bridge recreated precisely, and I said it as a joke, but thinking about it closely, it's actually very true, I missed the beige. I missed the beige, and I missed the well-lit bridge. And you have to understand that all these dark, moody-looking ships, they're off the back of, 50-odd years of war that the Federations had, 30-odd years of war that the Federations had. At the time when the Enterprise D was conceived, the Federation had been at peace for the longest time ever. So you did have a Galaxy-class starship that was made beige and had kids on board and wasn't all moody lit and all the rest of it. And I thought...
And carpets.
Yeah, and nice carpets. If only Weatherspoons had a carpet like that. But genuinely, that's what I loved about the D, the fact that it wasn't a warship, it wasn't lit all moodily, and with it was trying to say, hey, look, we can have fun in a time of peace as well. And it was nice to see that again. It really was.
Okay, so if you're watching the show so far, we are 20 minutes in. This is now your warning that we're going to open up the gates to episode 10. So this week's episode.
Hangar Bay 12 is literally just doing this.
If you haven't seen this week's episode, we are now going to discuss it. This is your chance to pause the stream and come back and watch it later. If you are coming back to watch it later, hello, welcome along. Your comments can't be seen, guys, but there we go. Episode 10. Let's start around the room. Richard.
We're looking for my highlight.
We're going to give you. Let's give everyone a challenge. 5-word review. I want you to do the 5 words that would go at the bottom of the episode 10 poster if it was at the cinema back in the day.
Well, I think I'd go for 3 words. And those are the 3 words used to sum it up on the Amazon Prime streaming channel, where they give you a byline and it says what the show is. And it said sci-fi, moody, fantastic.
James?
Looks like we're the cavalry.
I love the way I actually saw you like this before going.
I was wondering whether I could count we're as 2 words or 1.
Carl.
You want Trek? It's here.
Fantastic.
You want D? It's here. That would have been better. So
we're a family show, Richard.
Mine would be The Next Generation, Ride Again.
Yes. The Sony standout things about the episode, and picking a favourite perhaps might be cruel, but I like obviously they were limited. They couldn't bring in Cisco and Janeway, and there was talk about Captain Harry Kim and all the rest of it coming through, and budget constraints. But I like the fact that if they did have limited budget and they said, we've got to put the money somewhere, let's do some stuff with the Enterprise D, the ship you've never seen before. Let's have it do something really cool. Like, you never got to see it actually do a proper fight, because of budget constraints at the time. And then in Generations, it got blown up. So you never saw the D in action. Right, so let's rip off Star Wars. Let's get it flying into the middle of a massive Borg cube. And it looked fantastic. It looked absolutely gorgeous. And I would much rather they spent the money on that than a cameo from Janeway or Cisco or Harry Kim.
It's strange.
Sorry, go on.
No, please.
Just saying on the bit with the Enterprise maneuvers, like when Geordi ordered evasive maneuvers and you see it flying in and out of all the pylons on the outside of the Borg ship, all the antennas, and it's like, well, yeah, a Galaxy class isn't a sloth.
No, it's not Harry Maguire. It doesn't turn like Harry Maguire. It's quite nimble. It can move. It can, it's fantastic.
I mean, it's how long is 35 years now? Is it?
35 years.
35 years. Computer technology.
Remember, what started 35 years ago ends tonight.
Yes. Well, computer technology has come on so far. And,
except at my house.
Except
yeah,
I imagine that
still in 88.
Everyone that worked on that show originally has no doubt modelled that ship, CGI-wise, 100,000 times. And now they were actually able to, finally, like Richard says, show us what they wanted to show us all that time ago that just wasn't possible, and they went full out for it,
Yeah. They did fan service that way instead of character driven, which I don't know. Some people
the characters
enjoy.
were already there.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of having character cameos, I mean, they had Tuvok come in, and that was great. And they had a couple.
I like the Chekhov drop.
Well, I watched. So on the seventh rule, they managed to get because it was actually the original Chekhov.
Mm-hmm. Walter.
Can you tell me his name, please, James?
Walter Koenig. Don't get it wrong, Richard.
Don't get it wrong. Walter Koenig. That was him. He did the voice. They came round to his house because he's 86, and they got him to do the voice of his son. Sadly, it was quite funny actually. They told him the lines that he said, and they said it was beautiful, in the words of my father and all the rest of it. And he's like, I didn't say that. They must have done that.
No, Kirk said that. I thought that when it was saying it. It was like, no, hang on, this is Kirk.
Yeah, but the fact that they gave him the name Anton Chekhov, I thought was a wonderful, wonderful touch. I really liked that. I thought that was absolutely wonderful. It was beautiful. And it's great they got Walter to come in and do the voice as well. And he was more than happy to. Apparently he was, when he first got asked to do it, he had no idea at all it would be an off-screen thing and just a voiceover. I mean, I guess he thought they would CGI him young or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and it was very much the message from Star Trek 4 from the Cetacean probe, wasn't it?
General Order 12.
So let's go next up. Carl, episode 10, thoughts?
Thoughts? Oh, it was awesome. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I quite like the funny part with Worf as well. It was like at one point I was worried that we might actually survive.
There was several good one-liners.
Yeah,
it was a very good one. It's usually Riker and Worf with one-liners. There was quite a lot of that.
The threesome one was good.
About the bit with the sword with the Mek'leth where he drops it and goes, I never realised how heavy this was.
We shall make it a threesome.
Yeah. Do you even hear yourself?
Wait a minute, you have a phaser in the hilt all the time? Swords are good.
Swords are fun. Yeah, they were the good
comedy. I finally realised
duo
what it is that I missed the most. The carpet.
I've got to admit, on this last episode, the other thing I really, really loved was the scene where Brent Spiner, Data's trying to convince them, and he's like, trust me! Data with a gut feeling, trust me, and everyone's like, okay.
That was one bit I didn't enjoy.
Oh, you see, I did.
About the episode, because it was just like, no, we can't do this, no, it's impossible. I know it's impossible, but just trust me. I'm thinking, I don't fucking trust him. No. I don't even know who you are. You're not even properly Data, are you? Who the hell are you? No, I wouldn't have trusted him. Nah. I'd have strapped it to an exocomp and said, there you go, boy. Go on. Strap a torpedo to an exocomp, get him to do it.
James, episode 10.
Well, it has to be that the plot itself wrapped up a good 20 minutes before the end of the episode, and they gave us 20 minutes of payoff.
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
On all sorts of levels. Even saying goodbye to the D, where they took it to the museum and they shut it down and said, well, she always took care of us.
Yeah. Yeah, it was... Cool. Joe, if you could bridge the walls between reality and television with an illegal substance for one night only, it would be to visit that Fleet Museum, wouldn't it? Goodness me.
Oh
wow.
That's in the Daystrom Institute.
Oh. I don't know about the Daystrom. I don't even want to go to the Daystrom Institute, actually.
Think of all the cool stuff we could steal.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
I mean, episode 10 for me, I liked the scenes of the Enterprise D flying inside the cube. The destruction of space dock, that was, quite... I thought that could have been a bit more graphic than it was. 1 second it's space dock's been destroyed, next second there's just some wreckage floating past the ships. To see that actually blow up would have been quite cool.
Yeah, they clearly run out of budget there, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. When you've got the Titan, or Enterprise G, whatever you call it, streaking past the the ship's doing strafing runs. Okay. Oh yes, the control thing can only take us when it's line of sight. What? Shut up! No, it can't. That's not how space works.
Again, all those bits were largely unnecessary, weren't they? So it's.
Now, I did ask Carl about this. Carl, do you remember the question I asked you before? When we saw the reanimated zombie Alice Kriege, Borg Queen, did I miss something? Because she said, you left us on the edge of the galaxy. Now, this is my thinking. The Borg Queen in First Contact was definitely destroyed because we saw her die. Jurati's Borg Queen is guarding the space hole. And
trying to stop Discovery from getting through.
And then you've got Voyager has destroyed the Borg with Unimatrix, the floating spacing at the end of Voyager. And there was the Borg cube at the beginning of Picard that Seven briefly became queen of. When did Picard strand the Borg at the edge of the galaxy?
I think that was the Voyager, wasn't it, when they collapsed the transwarp network?
Then why is the Queen not assimilating the Delta Quadrant? And why is she by herself? There's just, I think either we've missed a tie-in book or an audio book or a comic series. There's something I think that we've missed as a group.
It's difficult to know because all the novels have been made non-canon now, haven't they? They've
well, didn't IDW do some comics as a Picard First Point tie-in? I know there was some ones about Romulan.
Yeah, they didn't cover the Borg. I've read those.
Well, we're going to move on to things that we didn't like about the episode then, and there were a few. The story and the plot got very tenuous and didn't make a lot of sense. In particular, I was really let down because I thought season 2 of Picard, and it did have faults, what I thought it did the absolute best was the classic Star Trek thing of actually being able to make peace with their biggest enemy. It doesn't matter how big your enemy is, you can find common ground and you can get past it. The same as it did with the original series, the enemies being the Klingon, Next Generation having made peace with the Klingons. I thought that was great. And then just to shove it under the carpet for the sake of having the Borg in season 3, it was a bit tactless, if I'm honest with you. I thought that was a bit naff. I don't think you needed the Borg to make season 3. It didn't have to be the Borg. But there we are. My own opinion.
Now, let's talk that post-credit scene.
I thought it was a bit of a letdown as well. That was my next thing I didn't like that much about it. I thought that was a bit of a lazy throwaway. And they shot it back to back with season 2, so I reckon they had John Delancey around and kind of shot it on the off chance they might use it, is what it felt like.
The fact I liked the Enterprise G reveal to Jean-Luc.
It seems a bit disappointing. The Enterprise G is just a rebadged older ship, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
And did we get
a rebadged older ship?
I was going to say it wasn't the Enterprise A.
It was, but this is the flagship.
Did we get to see the F?
Yeah, it came out of space dock just before they killed off Shelby. So we saw it twice.
So the next one down, so presumably that was destroyed then. That's why they've gone for the G refit.
Well, no, it was going to be decommissioned anyway. That was the whole point. It was being retired.
What the F was?
Yeah.
How old was it?
15 years, but Metalis is quoted as saying it's not the age, it's the mileage. The flagships take a pounding because of the amount of stuff they do.
I mean,
sort of like the Chasey Lane flagship.
It's set up very nice if they want to go down this Star Trek legacy sort of thing now. There's a crew set up, there's a premise for it, there's a ship. That's all set now. You can have, the LaForges, back in contact with Geordi. You can have Data and Picard, talking to Jack. There's all possibilities to still have cameos if that new series goes ahead. Like, we're all hoping it will. Lots of flashbacks from Seven to Shaw. It does open a door to different things.
There was so much to love about it. Picking on things that we could have improved upon, I think we're all in agreement. We would have done if we had the budget. Did they do the best they could with the budget they had? I think they probably did. I think they did. They kept it intriguing for a long time, and they kept they paid the fan service. So, are we going to rate the episode out of 10?
The question has come up, though, everybody. We've all forgotten about Laris.
Who?
Well, there you go. You've forgotten
the cleaner. The cleaner.
Yeah, the space MILF.
No, fair enough. You're right to bring her up. What would you like to say about that, James?
Well, she was, at the beginning of the series, she was off to some planet waiting for Picard to join her, and he's never bothered. The dirty, rotten scoundrel.
Well, I mean, presumably he's got someone else to do his cleaning now. He's back with the. She was the cleaner, wasn't she? The housekeeper.
Housekeeper,
yeah. Again, largely unnecessary character.
Well, there you go. That'll be the Star Trek Legacy series. It's when she hunts down Picard out of vengeance.
I liked the sort of last moment, which was Admiral Crusher, who was now in charge of Starfleet Medical, and now she's devised a way for transporters to, deborgify people. Oh, and detect changelings. Well, why weren't we detecting changelings before?
So just even if it was just change without bringing the Borg, if they just kept it as just the changeling, that would have been enough. You could have had a big, massive changeling ship and had D fly through it. You didn't need to bring the Borg back in. Who would have loved to see instead of just 2 drones attacking Worf and Riker? Who'd love to see Worf clave his way through a few dozen Jem'Hadars with his sword? That'd be much more fun.
Did you notice they were the older type drones as well?
Well, I think it's down to cost, because I know it was shot back to back with season 2, so they had all the old Borg kit out for that, didn't they? So that's, again, it's all about cost. That's why they've gone for Borg as their thing. It's monetary constraints.
Which is why Jack Crusher was in a Denise motocross jacket and outfit, because I looked at it and went, I've got that exact same motocross jacket.
I thought he was a good actor, the young man they got to play. Again, if you're talking about sort of money and time constraints and stuff, they had to get someone in to play Picard's son, and I thought this young man did a really good job. I thought he was
a Brit, wasn't he?
Yes,
he sounded like one. Yeah.
I know that our friend Sarah Jennings said that her significant other is actually very good friends with the gentleman that plays Jack, and he's from that way down London way. And apparently, in
Quicks and see us.
In interview this week, he has said that he wants to play Jack Crusher Picard for the next 15 years. Is his ambition? So
you've not been offered any other jobs then.
Right, so there we go. Episode 10 done. Let's go around the table from the top, and we'll start with Richard. Marks out of 10, and it has to be out of 10. No ridiculous numbers, please.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10
for season 3.
Oh, the whole season.
We'll go episode then season. Episode
8 out of 10.
Season
9 out of 10.
Carl.
I would agree. Episode 8 out of 10, season 9 out of 10.
James.
I'm going to give them both 10 out of 10 and say it was the greatest season of Star Trek we'd ever seen.
And I'm going to give the episode a 9 and the season a 9. I think with a small
What
amount.
more do you want? I mean, seriously, what?
I'm just finishing
That
up.
made sense. Would have been nice.
With a small amount of budget extra, I think we
Yeah.
could have had a little bit more out of it. But yeah, it was fantastic. It was magnificent for what we got. Right.
You're like
so,
Terry Metalis going, what more could I possibly have done? You guys are incredible.
Well, he could have done more with the budget that he had. Obviously, he did the best he could with the budget he had.
I mean, we are aware that Metalis did contact us frequently as elders of the internet, but you know. Right. Let's move on to a. Carl, can you just have a look through the comments to see if anything we should be talking about? While you're doing that, I'm going to play.
Is everyone saying how brilliant we are?
This one. So, real news.
Live video. What just happened there?
Real news.
Real news, right? Okay.
Richard, I'm sure you know what real news I'm going to talk about.
Well, we all know for a fact that fast upon us, we've got a new season of Discovery coming up.
This wasn't the real news I was going to talk about, but okay.
And yeah, so this has been released.
I've been crying.
Oh, no, real news. Sorry. Of course they'll be crying.
Real news. Richard, would you like to talk to us about Michelle Yeoh?
So Michelle Yeoh has been given, Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh has been given the lead in a, well, this is I'm not sure how this is going to go. This is kind of like
it's like an American version of the BAFTA, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's the new series. It's not new series, the new film, Section 31, and Section 31 film is going to be a straight to kind of video DVD release, bypassing the cinema, which now translates to not going to the cinema, just coming out on a streaming service. I'm not sure this is so. Disney have done this with a couple of movies, and they did not do as well as they thought they were going to.
Black Widow was a great
yeah, so I'm not sure exactly how. Maybe it's a case of then just simply not going to put enough money its way to make it worth a cinema release. Maybe they don't have enough confidence in it, or maybe they think, do you know what, we've got a real winner here. It's going to be brilliant, and this is going to get loads of people sign up to our service to watch it. So, obviously, I'm hoping for the latter. We'll see.
Absolutely. I know initially there was talks it was going to be a Section 31 series, and it has now been downgraded to a feature-length
film.
What I can only assume is going to be like the equivalent of the old TNG double episodes, you know.
Well, it could
yeah,
be
straight to video releases. Yeah.
Now, as you've also said, we have got Discovery on its way, season 5. We have got Strange New World season 2 coming in June. We've got a new series of Prodigy on its way. We've got a new series of Lower Decks on its way. You know, we are not
Lower Decks.
Yeah, we are not in the wilderness that we were in before Discovery. You know, Trek is very much alive at the moment. And
remember back when we didn't have any Star Trek to talk about, and we'd do all Carl's collectibles and choose and all that whole crap every week. Coming next week.
For the few weeks where there's no Trek to talk about.
Oh, and of course we've got the Academy series that's been announced as well. There is a lot going on.
It's
this week as well.
I realise there's money in sci-fi, isn't it?
This week as well. I don't know if you saw it, but there was an announcement of our friends from Destination saying that it's definitely going ahead and book some hotels, and that's coming up in 3 or 4 months. So that's exciting and important.
So, is anyone else lost Dan? I'm only getting every other word. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, kind of like that.
So in news, that's real news. Then, we've got Starfleet Academy, James, can you give us any more updates on whether or not it'll be set in the Discovery forward timeline?
I've seen no further news as to whether they will inflict the Discovery timeline on us, but I'm hoping it won't be.
Okay. Other news as well. The Riker's beard, main bridge and shuttlecraft, hopefully, will be appearing when, James? 20th?
On May the 21st,
May the
at Quex
21st.
Park in Birchington for the MCU Plus event.
MCU Plus event. So this is basically a Comic Con with a bit of Star Trek thrown in. If you're in Kent at all and you'd like to come and say hi or even give us a hand with the set or the shuttle, it's really heavy and I'm quite little.
It's a lot of heavy lifting for us. If anyone wants to help, it would be nice because we do it for free. I mean, we charge for
charity. We do it for charity. But yeah, so if you'd like to come along and see and give us a hand, genuinely, we would really appreciate it. We ain't getting any younger. It's getting harder and harder every time we drag that stuff somewhere. So that'd be wonderful.
Yes, I was just saying we've had news, obviously, that Destination Trek's going to happen, and people should probably book something for that. So,
yes, Destination Trek is going ahead in August.
It is?
Am I right? Yep. The dates are August, the end of August to near the other end, 20th of August, somewhere around there. Yep. Our room's already booked. We're looking forward to going to that.
I know there's some exciting stuff with that going on and a lot of stuff going on in the background. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Which I can't talk about.
You are going to get me to interview Michelle Hurd, aren't you? I can see this. It's coming a month. Just make sure it's in the morning before I hit the bar.
What, before 9?
Did anybody watch the Trekkie Girls reaction to Star Trek episode 10, by the way?
Yes,
No,
I saw.
We got drunk, didn't we, Richard?
Yeah, we watched a few minutes of it. I had some technical problems at the start, and we had some other guests over, so we put them on the big screen. They were enormous on my big television, weren't they? The Trekkie Girls.
Yes.
Yeah. So we watched them for a bit, but then yes, we got drunk.
I'm just wondering which one of them made squealing noises first. I imagine
They're all screamers.
Squealing.
7 of them as well.
Yeah.
And I shall make sure I tell her that you said that when I interview her.
Apparently, John made squealing noises first.
He's a fine Trekkie girl, John.
Best boobs out of the lot of them.
So,
He's squeezed into that little girl's top you got.
I know.
How do you fit into that?
the one that he won in the auction.
Yeah.
I bought off Wish in our Wish challenge.
How did he fit it on? You're welcome. Got to find something nice to say about her, haven't I?
Talking of Star Trek guests, have we seen that Marina has been announced for London Film and Comic Con winter, I want to say? Officially winter. So she's going for that.
That's nice.
Off the back of, obviously, Picard season 3. So.
Isn't it also exciting that Chuck Norris is going to be at the summer one?
Chuck Norris is going to be at the summer London Film and Comic Con.
Yeah.
I told Richard this, and Richard said he is God's ninja.
Yeah, I like his films, just don't like him. He's a proper basher. I mean, literally thinks you can pray the gay away, all that shit. I'm not even exaggerating. Really
what about
is.
Walker Texas Ranger? Do you not enjoy that, Richard?
Again, I like the characters he plays, and I've got a lot of respect for his skill. But yeah, he kicks ass for God. One of the few martial artists that's a famous film star that I really probably wouldn't get on with if I met, so probably best I don't. Wouldn't want to embarrass him. No, that's the thing. He wouldn't. He'd pray at them and then get assimilated in real life.
I know his roundhouse kick there.
Walker Texas Ranger would kick the crap out of them. Chuck Norris would pray at them and then get assimilated.
Wow.
So yeah, lots of Trek to talk about. Conventions, appearances, Picard, new stuff coming up, new films. Gosh.
Yes, isn't there also the Abrams verse Star Trek 4 is gathering momentum again, isn't it? There's a lot of talk. Yeah, I think so.
I thought that was dead.
Well, it's resurfaced and died, but there's more and more coming up about that coming on. So because all the actors are looking for work that were in it.
Well, the actors who wanted a lot of money and haven't found it anywhere else.
Yeah, they're now keen on getting back on board with it.
Christoph, we know it's going to happen.
Of DT happening.
Destination Trek.
No, that's going ahead, Christoph.
Very much.
We've seen it on the internet. It must.
Honest, Christoph, listen, if anyone's in any doubt as to whether Destination Trek is going ahead or not, I will personally guarantee you it is going ahead. It's definitely going ahead.
Guarantee it? Wow.
As will I. As various things are bubbling in the background. I'm well aware it's happening. In fact, everyone here in this room that knows that there is something happening in Destination Trek we're not allowed to talk about, put your hand up.
James, put your hand up.
Oh, I can't see what you're doing. Yeah, if it helps.
There you go. We all know.
You just went club.
How high was the snow?
Ladies and gents, if you're watching the stream, what you don't realise is that James isn't using the internet. James is on dial-up from 1995. He's sort of celebrating the end of TNG by using old school AOL dial-up.
No, I'm using 2 tin cans and 9 inches of string.
Oh, you've advanced. Well then, you've got mail.
When I offered you my services, I said I did cheap IT, not good IT. They're two different things.
James has the internet. He's shown us before.
He has. Have you got it with you, James?
Yeah, I'm just going to download some more of it now.
But where's your hard copy of the internet? Is that with you or at the office?
Here it is.
No, that's not it.
No, that's tape. Don't you have a little blinky red internet thing?
Oh, no, that's in the office.
That's in the office. Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
He uses that one for work.
Here's a little blinky thing.
What you can't see, dear viewers, is where James is currently sitting is actually his downstairs toilet. That's actually the toilet seat that he sat on there. That's the window at the back of him. There's the reading materials when you're on the toilet at the side of him.
He's not wrong.
Broadcasting live from the loo.
So what do you think will be the next phase? Do you think there will be a follow-up? Is there a rumor it's going to be Star Trek Legacy?
I've seen something about that. I didn't. I'm sure.
That's what they keep mentioning.
I know that I said to Carl, giant whatever they're called, giant freaking robot. Said that essentially there's going to be a phase 2 on its way for Star Trek, a bit like MCU's had. It's had a couple of different phases. We're going to enter the next phase of.
I have a theory.
Oh,
and I initially the fact they didn't kill off any of the cast members, I thought was quite sweet. I think we were all expecting someone to come a cropper.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I was thinking that would happen.
Yeah, none of them did. And I have a theory that whatever the next Star Trek canon and following on from Picard's going to be, is going to be one of them's going to be killed. And it's going to kind of be a murder mystery almost, trying to figure out who's killed them and why, who from the past has come and kind of done it, who's killed them.
I think it's going to be Worf in his sleep.
Lieutenant Worf with the lead piping in the observation lounge.
Yeah, similar, very similar. Because it will keep it low budget, is what I'm thinking. Because they clearly, Paramount Plus, don't want to spend money on anything, including their crap app in the UK, if you're trying to watch any stuff.
By the way, a big thank you and shout out to our friends at Paramount Plus who do sponsor several events we go to.
Spend some money on your app.
We just want them to improve. We want to help them improve. That's all it is. It's constructive feedback.
My name's Dan. I'm the one that keeps us politically correct in this group.
I mean,
Sure.
that's
not what you said offline, Dan.
Shut up. That's offline.
I completely understand why they only broadcast in 1080 to the UK, because they think we're all poor and don't have 4K TVs. That's fair enough. But your shoddy app, that's unacceptable.
What is 4K you're talking about? What?
That's what you're in currently, Dan.
I'm sorry, I thought I was in VGA.
It's the UK version of 4K.
Is it really that bad?
No.
That's a yes. I know how this works.
Oh, no, we've got 3 minutes left. What are we going to talk about?
Have a look at this.
I can't.
Massive Watsits, literally.
I did go to Richard's house and he provided big Watsits. It's true.
It's like that. Oh, really nice.
Dear viewer, what's your favourite snack then for watching Star Trek? Is it giant Watsits or is it peanuts? And if it's peanuts, what kind of peanuts? Dry roasted, chili flavour?
Oh, those ones that come in the crispy shells.
What about wasabi peas?
No. Oh,
Popcorn.
Ugh, weirdo.
Oh.
I like the Thai Walker's Thai sweet chili sensations, but the problem is I can't eat too many of them because
David Thompson says 4K. I'm watching it on the gramophone. Well, David, you've got James who's currently accessing the internet via his wax cylinder. So,
and 9 inches of wet string.
Yes. Alan Windows saying he can't multitask.
David, on the subject of knickknacks, you can now genuinely get crunchy Watsits. And guess what they are? That's right, they're basically just knickknacks. They've just put knickknacks in a bag that says crunchy Watsits. And they're really nice.
What's the best flavour of Monster Munch?
Pickled onion.
Yeah.
Or
no, it's not an or. It's pickled onion. Have you ever had a Monster Munch pickled onion sandwich?
Ooh.
So.
I agree with David.
Always mysterious, our David.
What? So, did you watch Picard with the giant Watsits? What was everyone's Picard munching?
So, I provided for my guests 6 tins of Thatcher's Haze, 2 bottles of white wine, a bottle of red wine. We had crunchy Watsits, giant Watsits. We had Thai sweet chili sensations and some Californian honey roasted sensations peanuts, followed by 2 super pizzas, some potato twisters, and some nuggets.
Carl,
did we get you were going to ask that question?
Carl, did we not get invited to the soiree?
Well, to be fair, we are several hundred miles away.
True.
It was nice though, wasn't it, James?
Not exactly just a quick trip on the old beer scooter.
Oh, it was a splendid evening.
What did you have, Carl?
I had my popcorn.
Oh, do you know what I had? Cereal.
I'm glad we didn't get invited to dance to watch.
Yeah.
Here's your bowl of sugar puffs, boys.
No, I had Wheatos.
Oh, dear.
They were lovely. Thank you.
Cocoa Pops.
They even turned the milk chocolatey. I think we win with the pizza there, Richard.
Yeah, I think you did.
When I was at Tesco's getting all the drinks and nibbles, I had a lady in front of me honestly, God, I've never been behind someone so slow at the checkout. And she wasn't even old. She just couldn't decide. Like She'd get her bread out and put it on the conveyor belt, and then put it back in the trolley, and then put something else on.
Good man, Paul.
And she's probably driving home.
Well, you weren't prepared enough, Daniel. You've known it was coming for a long time now.
35 years. You had time to prepare.
That was enough time to go and get a snack.
What were those pork scratchings you used to be able to get? You can't get anymore. That had little hairs on. Mr.
Pork scratchings, Richard.
No, but the really rank ones, the cheap ones. They used to come in the flimsy packet, see-through packet.
The white packet with the red writing.
Yeah.
Mr. Porky's.
Mr. Porky's. Yes, Mr. Porky's hairy pork scratchings.
I'm sure Carl's Pub probably sells them.
They're probably out of date if they stopped selling them a long time ago. They were lovely, though. They were.
Actually, Carl's Pub is one of those upmarket places. It's probably like, wasabi peas with teriyaki sauce.
Go on, keep going.
Can I have a bag of salt and vinegar crisps? We don't have salt and vinegar, but you can have balsamic vinegar and sea salt.
Anglesey sea salt, actually.
Did you have a watch party in your pub, Carl?
No, I just watched it upstairs on my own personal cinema screen.
On your own?
So you didn't let your customers share with you?
No, I don't allow my guests up into my personal accommodation.
What about your wife and your girlfriend? Did they not watch it with you?
Well away by that time. Although, having said that, I have invited a couple of my my regulars up previously. So when Picard Season 1 first launched, there are a couple of my regulars that do enjoy the odd trek here and there. So when Picard Season 1 first launched, I did invite them up and we did a Saturday evening where we watched the first 2 episodes on my cinema screen. That was quite good fun.
Do you know what's more impressive than watching on your cinema screen?
Watching it in Leicester Square.
Yeah, Leicester Square, I can say, yeah.
Oh, I don't. There's a certain bit of me that feels sad now, and I know we've got Strange New Worlds to look forward to, and Prodigy. But I was watching today. I watch Voyage with my kids now, as regular viewers will see, and there's been so many really wholesome episodes of Trek that are related to Voyager. And as much as I've enjoyed Picard Season 3, one of the things I loved the most about it was the fact that they paid it fan service, and it was pretty wholesome. It was nice. It didn't go too sort of hardcore or, and seeing them all play poker at the end, it just felt like it was goodbye. It really felt like this is it now. This is all we're going to get.
I saw Christoph put a message up that apparently that they were actually left the cameras rolling and they played poker for 45 minutes.
That's true. That was in an interview with Terry Metalis. He told us that.
Who won? Oh, we should do that. We should play poker for 45 minutes, but we'll have to pick a character to play poker as. We'll pick it out of a hat. I'll be Cisco.
I'll be Q, because then I can just change the cards to whatever I want.
Or I can be Geordie and see through everybody's cards.
I don't think you're quite grasping the idea of this, gents.
Nah, that doesn't quite clock.
They haven't, have they? They've not clicked onto this, Richard.
Dreams, reality.
So we would play an actual game of poker.
Little? Far away.
This is going to be an awkward conversation like the one I had with James about that he can't play chess. Do you know how to play poker?
I know that the picture cards are worth more than the ones with numbers on.
God.
Depends on.
I've got a best friend who doesn't like football, can't play poker.
I know that in chess the horsey moves in an L shape.
Oh.
But what it does mean is that you had the ultimate wingman to watch that last episode of Picard with.
Absolutely. I couldn't wish for a better best friend. Genuinely mean that.
And as we're just getting to the end,
I can't say more how much. It's great to have a friend who appreciates Star Trek as much as I do. Even though we don't agree with it all the time, that's one of the things I think that makes this show the legendary show that it is. The fact that if we were all right, it would be boring. So it's wonderful that some of you are wrong about some things sometimes, and it generates a discussion.
Yeah, we could agree with you, but then we'd all be wrong.
One of the most interesting things about actually Picard season 3 ending, not so much for Picard season 1 or Picard season 2, was the fact that I physically couldn't go on social media for 24 hours between Thursday and Friday because
I love that. It's great.
Finding out what was going to happen. It's like,
I got to the point where I had to stop notifications on my phone just to be safe.
Yeah, make sure no one sent you anything. I've got this dodgy builder who watches the show. Hey, Anthony. And he messages whenever anything sort of major kind of drops, he sends me a message straight away, and it's like, I'm fucking sending it at you. Fucking.
What's his name?
Anthony.
Anthony, do you take cash and not charge the VAT? Are you that type of dodgy builder?
You don't like that market.
Hello and welcome to all of our friends that work for HMRC.
We'll have to have a game then, Christoph. We'll teach you.
Yes, well, we'll play.
Federation Day. 1s, 2s, and 6s are wild.
7-card studs relatively easy.
Should we play at Destination Trek, which is definitely happening?
Yeah, we can play that. I'd rather play blackjack with the hookers we're going to have.
All right, Bender, calm
They're
down.
called the Trekkie
Oh.
Girl. Can we stop referring to them as hookers?
Let's do strip poker with girls.
Again? No.
Strip happy families.
Poker.
Maybe we'll do that on the Sherlock Holmes adventure.
Elephant or snake? That's not much of a mystery. Oh dear! Oh gosh, we're 7 minutes over.
Right.
And look,
And it
guys,
shows.
it's time to finish.
Right.
Guys, if you're watching the show and if you've enjoyed the show, we've really enjoyed doing the show and we've loved you watching us. Please hit the like emoji, the heart emoji, the laugh emoji, or the surprised face emoji. We'd really appreciate us. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Is that a thing?
If you're on YouTube, yes, it is.
Send us your bank details.
Hit the subscribe button and the notifications button.
And we do have one of small requests as well this week. If you can jump onto the Creation Facebook page, and where it is Star Trek The Cruise and Star Trek The Vegas event, and they're saying, who would you like to see there? If you can tag Trekkie Skies to the Galaxy and USS Record, we would love to.
I didn't think they were doing the Vegas one anymore. I thought that was new.
No, James, this is a big thing at the moment. We don't normally ask this of our viewers, but it would really help us out if you could share this kind of stream and your thoughts about it to other Star Trek pages. We're at a stage in our evolution where that really would help us out. So if you're a member of the Star Trek group and you want to recommend us, that'd be fantastic.
And if you don't want to recommend us, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, keep it to yourself.
We respect your opinion.
I mean, you want to post something on Trek like, oh my God, those guys from Let's Talk Trek were absolutely outrageous. I'm definitely going to watch them next week to see what to do then.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can accommodate something.
Well, next week is our strawberry jam special.
I've only got apricot. No one likes apricot. Like in the back of the fridge, there's the apricot and there's the jam, and the jam jar is like there's that much left in it. The apricot, there's that much. So, well, Carl, you've got kids. Do you find that in the morning when you go for your breakfast, you go around all the cereal boxes, and there's about 6 of them with a little bit in the bottom, and there's one with loads in, and you just to use them up, you just put all like different bits of cereal into one bowl.
Yeah, in fact, my better half, Kerry, she doesn't understand how I'm able to mix so many cereals into one bowl and still enjoy it.
Waste. Don't go to waste.
Absolutely.
Lucky
she leaves them there, but I can't. I just mix them all up. I've got
get it eaten.
You know, hoops. I've got a Weetabix. I've got a couple of cornflakes, a few Snap, Crackle, and Pops. You know.
Hang on, look, swap up that quote from Angela Christine there, please. Now, look, I'm a Star Trek fan. I have an Irish passport, and I also have a Toastmasters outfit, and I've officiated at several weddings. This is right in my wheelhouse.
How do you not know about this, James, already?
Well, I do now. I'll look it up.
How did you not know about this prior to this evening?
I don't know.
So if you could share us to your international Toastmaster group saying how great this, that really would help us out. We don't normally ask this, but please do hit the share button and share us to any other Star Trek pages that you know saying how wonderful you are. It really, I probably should have tidied up my office a little bit. But yeah.
Effectively, James, you could be their like long lost grand leader.
The Grand Poobah.
Yes.
The chief stonecutter. Yes.
I have tried opening champagne bottles with a sword before. It has not gone well.
It rarely does.
I opened one with a gun.
I would imagine that went even worse.
No, I did. It was a bet as well. I hadn't been drinking.
Did you shoot it or did you just pistol whip it?
Right, boys, it's getting up towards 1:15. Shall we let the lovely people go and then we'll have a natural fair?
All right, I need to go and get another drink. Good night, everyone.
Look after yourselves and each other.
Au revoir.
And don't forget, brown sauce is the best.
Or reggae.